With more on the state of the league.
Guys, first, it's so great to see somebody from CNBC in person after 2 years. Hi, Carl. Yeah, hanging over the game is issues with the league, with the owners, and does business as usual have to change, especially after ex-Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores filed the lawsuit, which says, among other things, that teams are only paying lip service to diversity. It's something that players and even executives are talking about.
I think they're making progress and strides, but obviously the Brian Flores thing is something that you hate to see.
I do know that there are plenty credible African American men that are incredible leaders, and they're not getting the right opportunity.
We have an unbelievable defensive coordinator, Raheem Morris. When you look at him only getting one head coaching interview this year, when other defensive coordinators with far worse resumes this year got multiple interviews, you can tell the process isn't working the way it should.
And moving from black coaches to black owners, Byron Allen is interested in buying the Denver Broncos, and the league is reportedly begging Robert F. Smith to give it a shot. Now, under NFL rules, a primary owner would have to put in 30% of the money. The Broncos are worth an estimated $3.75 billion. So we're talking over $1 billion, Carl, and Commissioner Goodell told me that he is working with these guys, trying to explain to them the financing and also rules of ownership, which I don't even know if the Rooney Rule is part of rules of ownership anymore. We'll see.
Interesting. I wonder if you think, how this conversation about diversity at the higher levels of coaching staff ends. Would a couple of high-profile hires end that conversation, or is it part of this lurching back and forth of doing enough, doing not enough?
I think we find that a lot, not just in the NFL, but other big. You do like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And in fact, during his news conference this week, Goodell said he took personal responsibility for the fact that over his 15, 16-year tenure, we're still here. We're still having these conversations.
Yeah. Meantime, is there a sense that Flores timed the suit to embarrass the league on its biggest weekend, or was this more a function of seasonality?
I think. I don't know. You'd have to ask him that. I do think, though, he took a huge risk filing this lawsuit. And it's something the players' union talked about, that there are people in the history of sports who've taken huge risks, willing to maybe never work again to make a statement. And that may be what happens with him.
Meantime, as far as Los Angeles goes, last time we hosted here, Rose Bowl, right? It's been a long time. It's been decades.
Yeah, I remember that Super Bowl. I have to say, the problem with the Rams is that over the last quarter century, a generation has grown up becoming fans of other teams in other cities. And you'll see that when you come to the games here. Most of the jerseys will sometimes be from the other team. And so what they've had to do is, coming to the Super Bowl twice in 4 years will certainly help. Winning the Vince Lombardi Trophy will definitely help. This $5 billion stadium most certainly helps, although the Rams tell me, when I asked Kevin Dimhoff, will it ever pay for itself? He said, not in my lifetime.
I'm not sure our cameras do this justice, by the way.
No.
It reminds me of an Olympic park.
Not only is it so beautiful, you have to go inside.
Yes.
There is not a bad seat in the house. It's this perfect combination of being covered from the sun with airflow going through. I think the food could be better.
Oh, really?
Well, I sit in the cheap seats. I think the food.
I'm sure they'll get right to work on that.
The food could be better.
Jane, it's so good to see you
Good to
again
see you.
in person. Let's do this more often.
Yeah.
Jane Wells.